Good day, everyone. I'm Giraldo.
And I'm Tenny Disu.
We are students at Central Piedmont Community College and interns at the galleries.
So today we welcome Thomas Spake, whose work is on exhibit at the Gorelick Galleries at the Harris campus.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on today.
Nice.
Yeah. Could you take a couple minutes and tell us about your exhibit?
Yes, I'd love to. So this exhibit is on glass. I really took the time to explore some ideas that I've been thinking about for a long time, and really tried to increase the scale that I'm normally work at. Um, and so, kind of my approach to this exhibit was to take photographs that I've taken or other photographers have taken of places that I've visited or want to visit, and kind of take essence of that photo and try to translate it into my glasswork. Um, so, really trying to you know express myself in the glass pieces.
And I think you do that very well.
Yes.
So we want to
Thank you.
start by asking what exactly drew you to glass blowing?
Well, it's kind of a funny story. So I went to Center College, a small liberal arts school in Kentucky, and went there to play basketball. Um, and I had some interest in art, but I had a work study in the art department, and the glass studio is on the third floor of this building. And so the elevator opens up, and the glass studio is right in front of you. And so I walked out, and I'd never seen the process before, and my jaw kind of dropped. I was like, what is this all about? But because I was playing basketball, I couldn't take the class because it was took a lot of hours outside of class. And so finally, spring term of my junior year, I was able to quit the basketball team, really to try my luck at glass blowing. And so it all worked out. And one thing that that I really liked about blowing glass is that it's really a physical activity. Much like playing sports. I like to call it the extreme sport of the art world, because it's
Mhm.
you're playing with fire. Um,
Yeah.
you're always anticipating um, your next move. So the physicality of it, the heat, um, just kind of drew me in, and so I've been at it for almost 25 years now.
Wow. Yeah. Um, how I know you mentioned that you took some photos before and that you took like pieces from other people too. But how did you develop your style with the current pieces that you have in the campus?
Well, the style that I'm working in is something that I've created and developed over um, the last 10 or 15 years. And that kind of all started. My wife and I took a trip to the Southwest, and I'd never been to that part of the country, and was really inspired by the landscape and the colors, the patterns and textures. Um, Really kind of blew my mind. And so I came back from that trip, and I made a piece very similar to the native vessels that are on display in the show. And that's one reason why I wanted to present those pieces. I think there's a grouping of four, um, but those pieces are kind of what started, this whole style of work. I wanted to, um, create pieces that had a visual texture, but also a tactile quality to them,
Mm.
and also a subtlety to them, not only in the colors, but also the patterns.
That's awesome. So, do you have a favorite piece of work from your collection?
Um, I think out of the pieces in the show, there's a piece that I think it's called there's two pieces that I really like. One is the lava flow,
Mm.
and that was I mean, all the pieces are kind of explorations that I've really um, been thinking about for a long time, but just layering different colors on top of one another, and again, allowing the subtleties to come through.
Mhm.
The stripes and the striations are something that I really tried to explore with this show. As opposed, one thing that I'm really wanting to express in my work is textures. So one way to get that is by carving into the glass. So I'm actually taking different diamond wheels
Mm.
and actually removing material. So with those waterfall pieces, I'm actually so when I begin, the colors surround the whole piece,
Mhm.
and then after the piece is blown and cools down, I'll come back with diamond wheels and actually carve through, revealing the interior color. So it not only mimics the way that the water is kind of carving into in, into the landscape, but also mimics the way water looks kind of when it's falling like that.
We have one more question for you.
Sure.
What advice do you have for like upcoming artists or younger artists who are just starting their
Well,
journey?
it's like everything else. It's you have to put in your. I don't know if you guys are fans of Malcolm Gladwell, but he talks about put in 10,000 hours into anything that you really want to achieve and become master at. And I'm not saying that I'm a master at by any means, but you have to put your time in, and but also you have to be passionate about what you're doing, to love what you do, even on bad days. It's not going to be something that you love to do all the time, but keep at it. If that's something that you want to do, then put your whole self into it.
Right.
That's what
Well,
I would say.
yeah, it was amazing talking to you and knowing a little bit more about your artwork. Um, the exhibit Glasscapes will be at Central Piedmont's Harris campus until December 9, 2022. All works are available for purchase with proceeds benefiting the artist and the Central Piedmont's gallery program.
So thank you again for joining us today. It was lovely getting to interview you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for your time.